The town of Danville is a wonderful and charming place, and in this video I've put together a compilation of my West Side Wednesday programs dating back 5 or 6 years to show you exactly what I feel is the best aspects of Danville in general. My name is Bob Gibbs. I'm with Compass Gibbs Real Estate Group, and I would encourage, and we've been selling real estate in the East Bay here for over 20 years, and I would encourage you to, if you haven't yet done so, subscribe to this channel because I'm updating it regularly with new content, and the intent is to give you information you need to make good buying and selling decisions in the East Bay area of California. So let's get started with the show. Hi, this is Bob Gibbs and welcome to Westside Danville Living. This is Westside Wednesdays, and in this episode I'm going to be talking about the main street in downtown Danville, which is called Hart's. Hart's is about a quarter-mile long street, and it is anchored by this home behind me, which is the Shuit Padva house, and I'll give you a little bit better look. This home has been recently just restored. It's absolutely gorgeous, old Victorian. Was initially built as a farmhouse in the, I think, mid to late 1800s. It's absolutely stunning. So I'm gonna take a walk down the street here and show you some of the sights, and hope you enjoy. Okay, so any of you fans of the Robin Williams and the movie Mrs. Doubtfire, you'll probably recognize this restaurant behind me. This is called Bridges, and this is where they filmed one of the major scenes in the restaurant or in the movie. And it's been here for a long time. It's actually, the inside doesn't really resemble too closely what it looked like in the movie. However, when we moved to Danville, it was exactly the same thing. So it was quite the to-do for the town of Danville, which was kind of a small, sleepy town back then. It's since kind of emerged into a total foodie town. So I'll show you pictures of some of the restaurants that are in downtown. They're all pretty darn good. I'm now standing in front of the Veterans Memorial Building, which is dead in the center of Hart's Avenue in downtown Danville. This was built in the mid-1920s and has just recently gone through a major renovation. And it's a wonderful tribute to veterans of all the wars that actually lived in Danville and paid the ultimate price. So it's an amazing place to visit. A lot of exhibits and things on the inside. I'll do a future Westside Wednesdays in here, and I'll give you a closer look at it. But it's a really nice building to look at, and a good place to go reflect on our veterans. This is a point of historic significance in Danville. It's it's the spot of the very first building constructed in 1858. It was owned by the founder of Danville, Daniel Inman. And there's two stories about how Danville got its name. Some people claim that it was named after Daniel Inman. However, Daniel Inman had a brother, and recent research has kind of uncovered some letters between his brother and his future bride, who lived in Danville, Kentucky, and they're speculating now that they actually named Danville after Danville, Kentucky, in order to appease the brother's fiance's mother. So, interesting story about how the name of Danville came to be. Don't know which one was true because none of us are alive that when this happened, but it's kind of some folklore for Danville. Okay, so technically I'm not on Hart's Avenue anymore, but we are in the downtown Westside area. And the reason I wanted to come out here is that if you see over my shoulder this large oak tree, that is actually the iconic oak tree in downtown Danville. You'll see a symbol of this oak tree on all of our street signs. I'm told the age of this tree ranges anywhere from 350 to 500 years old. So it's been here a long time, and it is basically the symbol of Danville. So again, it's on all of our street signs. So that is actually this episode of Westside Wednesdays Thanks for watching, and if you want any more information about Danville in general, or if you're interested in buying a home here, just reach out to me. We can certainly help you with that as well. So until next time, take care. Hi, this is Bob Gibbs, and welcome to Westside Danville Living's Westside Wednesdays. And today we're at San Damiano Retreat, which is up in the hills above downtown Danville. And it's a retreat that's been here since the early 60s. It's used as a retreat center on the weekends and sometimes during the week. Great, beautiful ground, so let's go take a look. So San Damiano covers a large area, and there's several hiking trails that are up and around the property. You can see how beautiful this is. And it's private, so you need to check in with the main office when you get up here, because sometimes they have retreats where they remain silent. So they really want to be careful and respectful of the people that are up here. So it's one of the hiking trails, and you can see behind me there's just a lot going on here. So let's take a look at some more things. So I'm here at the Stations of the Cross, and in the Catholic religion, this is symbolic, and it chronicles the capture, trial, crucifixion, and resurrection of Jesus. And these paintings here actually came over from Italy, I believe like in the mid-60s, and they still look as beautiful as they did the day where they were installed here. But there is stations all the way around here, so you can walk around and you can see how the Passion of the Christ was documented in the Stations of the Cross. And this is mainly the Catholic religion. They really do acknowledge that and spend a lot of time respecting that. So really quite beautiful up there, though. It's very peaceful, very serene. If you're looking for a good place to go to retreat or just get quiet, this is a good place to go. So that's my quick little tour of San Damiano Retreat. It's an amazing place in Westside Danville. In fact, a lot of the residents in Danville have never even been up here. It's up on Highland Road, about a mile up from downtown, And if it's something you're interested in, you can Google San Damiano, or I'll just put a link here and you can check it out. They have retreats going on all the time. I highly recommend it, especially if you need some time to get away and kind of reflect on things. Thanks for watching Westside Wednesdays. See you next week. Hey, Bob Gibbs here, and I'm coming at you from O'Neill Park, which is right on Front Street in downtown Danville. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today on our Westside Wednesday segment. So O'Neill Park is named after one of Danville's more famous residents, playwright Eugene O'Neill, who was a Nobel Prize winning playwright. And he actually did some of his best work when he was living here in the 30s. And O'Neill Park is, again, just right across the street from the library, which I'll show you. There's a library right there, and that's Front Street right behind me. Danville Green's right out that way. And this park is just a nice little park to hang out, walk around in. There's benches to sit on, and then there's a series of these highlights from some of Eugene O'Neill's writings, and I'll show you here what I'm talking about. And it basically tells a little bit of a Eugene O'Neill story when he was living here in Danville. And this park in particular is really nicely landscaped. It's just a nice place to hang out. It doesn't get a lot of traffic, you know. It's not uncommon to have no one sitting here at all for a long time. So if you just want a place where it's quiet and just to kind of sit and reflect on things, it's really nice. It's right up against the creek. Again, Front Street's right behind us, so it's easy to find. And the interesting thing about Front Street, when Danville was first founded in the mid-1800s, Front Street was the main street in Danville. And it wasn't until around 1860s or 70s where one of the big landowners here subdivided about 8.5 acres, which basically pushed all the development and things onto Harts, which is where most of the main thoroughfare is for Danville now. But anyway, O'Neill Park is a really nice place to visit with family. It's really close to downtown. And again, the library is right across the street. Danville Green is where they have concerts on occasion. They'll have sleepovers, they'll have movie night. So it's kind of a nice little place to hang out. Again, walking distance just right across the creek from downtown. And so with that, that's this segment of Westside Wednesdays. And if you have any area in particular or any place in particular that you're really interested in me talking about or showing, just send me a note or a message, and I will make sure to include that in a future episode. Bye for now. Hi, welcome to Westside Danville Living's Westside Wednesdays. I'm Bob Gibbs, and today I'm going to show you around Hat McGee Park. And Hat McGee Park has been here since the 90s or late 90s. And it's right at the end of Lagonda on the west side Danville Alamo border. It was a park that was about 17.5 acres was donated to or purchased for park use, initially owned by Hat McGee. Hat McGee's family bought this property in around 1947. It's got an interesting history. It used to serve as an orphanage for a church in San Francisco prior to that. Hat McGee's family bought it, and then Hat McGee actually moved in around the early 50s and so on, lived here for several decades after that. In fact, he had a large herd of longhorn steers that he raised here on the property, and he used to actually, once in a while, I'm told, if historians are correct on this, he used to drive his herd, or some of it, through downtown Danville so people get a chance to see his longhorns. So it's a beautiful park, and I'm going to show you around a little bit so you know what I'm talking about. Well, with this park, there are several residences still on the property that are used. People can rent them out and use them for a lot of different things. We've actually had some meetings there in the past, but you can see this large grass area with a gazebo that was actually donated by the Rotary Club. There's the entrance to Hat McGee Park right there, and here's where the freeway is, right up in that area. That's the 680 freeway, so we're right on the corner of 680 and Lagonda as it goes underneath. So again, it's right on the border of Alamo. I'll screen around a little bit, a lot of parking, and there's residents, a large grass area. So I'm going to head out this way and show you a monument that is here as a remembrance of its past use. So I'm actually standing in front of a monument that was created in here at this spot in 1918 as a remembrance of the past use of this property. So actually really beautiful brickwork, as you can see. And it was an orphanage that was ran by San Francisco Protestant church, and it was run until around 1950, late 40s, early 50s, when the McGees bought the property and then turned it into a ranch. But it's a really nice remembrance of a past use of this. Again, here's some of the old homes that are still on the property. And I'm going to walk over this way so you can get a sense. There's a really cool play area for the kids here that has water features, and just, you know, I see kids here all the time. Although they're in school right now, so fortunately for me, they're not here making a lot of noise. But it's a really cool water feature, a lot of playground equipment. Kind of reminds me of when I was a kid, which was a long time ago. So here's that restroom facilities. This has a really nice park just to hang out at. And then there's a garden over here too that I see people gardening all the time with. Then there's another residence. And I'll take you over to the barbecue and picnic area next. Okay, here we are. We're at the outdoor volleyball court. But I'm going to scan this way. This is actually Alamo Creek back there. And then there's a small bridge out there that you can see in the distance. And that actually, crossed over that, you go to the Camille, which crosses Danville Boulevard. So there's a few accesses to get to the park. That's purely pedestrian. The earlier way I showed you, that's where all the vehicles come in. And here's the picnic area. That's covered. There's barbecues here that you can use. Pretty nice area. And now I'm going to show you where the dog park is, so I'll be right back. So here we are at the McGee Ranch Canine Corral. So there's actually 2 dog parks here. They're quite large. Really nice actually, though, if you want your dogs to play with other dogs. And they have one that's for larger dogs and one that's for small dogs. So I believe the small dog pen is all dogs under 20 pounds, and everyone else is here. Hey, there's a couple there now. So this is a large dog pen, and then the small dog pen is on the far side. So that's where we're at, and I'll meet you back at the front gate. So that's Hat McGee Ranch, and it's a really nice spot in the west side of Danville, pretty much on the Danville-Alamo border. There's a ton of stuff to do here, whether you have small children to play in the playground, or you want to barbecue and have some outdoor volleyball, or if you just want to bring your dog here and let them run around with other dogs. It's a great spot, a lot of history here. I would encourage you, if you want to learn more about Hat McGee, you can go to the Town of Danville's website. They have a lot of information there, and information on how to use the facilities. So thank you for watching Westside Danville Living's Westside Wednesdays. See you next time. Hi, Bob Gibbs here, and welcome to Westside Danville Living. In this episode of Westside Wednesdays, we're up here at the Los Trumpets Ridgeline. This is the west side of Danville. The trailhead is just right down below me off of Remington Loop, and there are miles and miles of trails back here. They go all the way up to the top of the ridgeline, Los Trumpets Ridgeline. Miles north, you can go south, you can go over the top of the hill. There's just a ton of dude up here. So I'm going to take you on a little journey up this hill to see how far I can make it before I run out of gas. So again, welcome to Westside Wednesdays. This is Bob Gibbs with Westside Danville Living. So I'm making my way up the trail here, And you can see just with a very short walk how it kind of opens up and brings some beauty to this area. So I'm still moving my way up. Okay, so I'm starting to get a little bit gassed here, but you can see how this trail opens up, and you know, it doesn't look that steep, but boy, when you're hiking on this, this is a really good hike. That's Mount Diablo right there. Right below is West Side, or just Danville in general. Alamo's out that way. As we whip around here, we get to the south part of Danville, and then past this oak tree is where you would see San Ramon. And boy, I still have a long way to go, so I'll be back shortly. Okay, I'm still on my way up, but here's the only challenge when you're up here. And you know, there is wildlife here. Not that cattle is wildlife, but in Danville, the cattle seem a bit entitled, so they tend to charge people that walk on the trail if they're there. Not to scare anyone, but there's actually warning signs here saying that the cattle can get aggressive at times. And so I tend to walk way around because we've actually been charged by these guys before. And it's, you know, when you see Bossy the cow you thought was really nice come at you with horns a blaring, it's a little bit shaking. So anyway, I'm going to keep motoring on here and see if I can get around these guys. Okay, I made it. Yeah, so now I have a decision to make. Which way should I go? I think I'll go with the up arrow, and I'll see where it takes me. Be back soon. Well, I'm still working my way up the hill, and right now I'm looking north. That's actually San Damiano, which is a retreat center. I'll be doing a West Side Wednesdays from there in the near future. But you can see the beautiful vista from up here. This is the West Hills called Las Trampas up above Danville. So I'm going to go up a little bit farther, and then I think I'll be done. Okay, I've made it up to a place we call the bench up here, and it's not that far up. Actually, it's probably about 35-40 minute walk, but it's significant in that it's uphill. Just to kind of give you an idea on my Fitbit, that's about 6,500 steps. And let me see here, the elevation is 91 floors, so that's a good little workout. You know, you can go at your own pace. There's people of all different ages, shapes up here, and but this is Las Trampas Ridgeline. I actually access it from the trailhead on Remington Loop in West Side, right off of Remington Loop Drive, and it's a great place to come hike. The only word of caution is there are critters out here. I mean, you're up in the hills, so whatever you have up in the hills, you'll have here in the west side of Danville. So that's this episode of West Side Wednesdays. And if you are looking to buy a house in this area, if you're outside of the Danville area and you'd love to look in this area for homes, just give us a shout. Send me a message or you know, post on the post line there, and I can give you some information on this and see if this is an area you'd like to go. But you know, we're about 35 minutes from the heart of Silicon Valley, 35 miles I should say. It's a great location. Quality of life here is excellent, schools and everything. So west side of Danville, Bob Gibbs with West Side Danville Living. If I can say that, I might gasp from walking uphill. So with that, see you next time. Hi, welcome to West Side Danville Living's West Side Wednesdays. I'm Bob Gibbs. In today's episode, we're going to go through the Veterans Memorial Building in downtown Danville. The Veterans Memorial Building is on the corner of Hearts and Prospect, which is right in the center of downtown Danville. This building was built in 1925, and went through a complete multi-million-dollar remodel in 2012. So it's now used for seniors, not just veterans, but for seniors and for meetings for the community. There's a kitchen in here. It's got a lot of amenities in addition to the things having to do with supporting our veterans. So let's go take a look. Well, that's our tour of the Veterans Memorial Hall in downtown Danville, and it's a great place to visit. Take the kids here. They have usually have events going on Veterans Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July. Whenever there's a festival downtown or some sort, they have special exhibits. It's a great place to take the kids, teach them a little bit about our military and our service. And thanks for watching.